episode. Shut up,
man. Let me talk.
No, as I said, welcome back to it.
And today we got the man himself, Dr. Mark. Why are you making that face?
I actually know what you got. Who I look like, guys?
Nah, shut up. Y'all know. Who I look like. Good. Y'all know that.
No, you look silly, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So, anyways, we have Dr. Mark Sherwood on today, guys. This dude, he just knows what it is.
He knows what it is.
He knows what it is.
The health industry, the food industry, and all that stuff. And he really
all the lies you're being told.
All the lies, and he really just cares about your health, y'all. So figure out all that's about to happen.
And guys, before you get into this, I also want you guys to know we do have a promo code with him, and we are doing the detox on his website. Go to Sherwood.tv. We're doing a detox as a family. Me, Isaac, and you guys. Let us know if you want to do this with us. Put your name down in the comments, and I'm going to figure something out so where we can all rally together and get together. But yeah, do that. We're talking about the health industry. They're killing you.
They don't want you to live.
All I'm trying to say is they don't really care about us. I'm here to remind. All right, I'm done. I'm about to get copyrighted or something. But we're about to watch the interview in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, Dr. Sherwood. We are so happy to have you again. How have you been?
Man, I'm always better when I get to see the SMITHBROS.
Oh, stop.
On, man. You guys make my day.
Man, ditto. You make our day.
Yeah, I've been doing great. It's been a busy time in our world. But hey, we got to continue to come out there with answering the problems with God's call to bring healing to mankind.
It really is all about that. We really got to bring God back to America. And, that's kind of what Trump's and there was appeal to a lot of conservatives. Like everyone's like, why are all these evangelicals voting for Trump? It's like because that was the appeal. He was drawing people. He was like, God needs to be first in this country. We'd worship a God, not government. And it's like, facts. So I agree with that sentiment.
Yeah, that's been the disconnect in our world. There's two opposing forces now. There's one that's trying everything they can do to minimize and disavow God. And then another one that's doing everything we can do to continue to be a nation or even people in a nation under God in authority and respect and honor.
Right. Exactly.
Right. And that we need to bring that back. John Adams himself said that the Constitution won't work unless it's under a moral and religious people. He said that. And I believe that's a fact. I believe that more now than ever when you see how people are in this like immoral generation of people and all the like policies they want passed by this corrupt government. It's disgusting. And you're seeing the Constitution kind of just break apart right in front of our eyes.
You bring up a very, very good point with the idea about moral compass, I like to call it. A compass kind of tells you what direction you're facing or maybe what direction you're going. Yeah. And, John Adams in his writings was clearly talking about the ability to have access to the compass, acknowledge the compass, and then listen to the compass, right? So it's this awareness, acknowledgement, and listening of the compass, which is God. And even though some of the founding fathers maybe weren't all the most godly persons in the world, they understood those three factors. And hence today in our world, we have a lack of direction because we haven't sought out the person who gives direction in regard to physical health, emotional health, spiritual health, financial health, and governmental health, which is 5 areas that we deal with within our practice on a daily basis with every single person.
That's what I actually want to learn more about that because you were teaching us a little bit in the last episode about what you do in your practice. But honestly, I think it's very vital that people have knowledge on what it is you do and how it is you operate because the things you're trying to help, the things you've done for people is like amazing. And I want people to latch onto that and get connected with you in Sherwood.tv, like we've said like 7,000 times last episode. It needs to be acknowledged because people need to know, people need to be healthy, live healthy lifestyles and not know what it is they need to do. Because before last week, I would have never known that it's that I need to have 15% body fat, not that I need to check the scale every 5 seconds. I wouldn't have known that. And so we need to get more into that for sure.
Yeah, like, people ask us that question, what do you do? And even as a doctor, use that in air quotes, you sort of get stereotyped, don't you?
Yeah, you do a lot.
Oh, I'm a podcaster. No, we get so we are people who have different giftings and calls in our lives.
Yeah.
And it's like that's how the body of Christ works. Somebody's got to be the pinky, somebody's got to be the thumb, and somebody's got to be the bowels. Just saying. Right? The bottom line is, we all have critical functions. And so God has gifted my wife and I with this anointing of bringing healing into people's lives in those areas. And so it's important to understand that within those areas, and it's common sense, again, one more time, physical, emotional, spiritual, govern mental and financial health.
Yeah.
If we are not aligned and healthy in those areas, the self-humanness, the human experience that we have is going to be out of alignment and in a state of dis-ease. Dis-ease. Dis-ease is a lack of peace. It's confusion. It's a lack of wellness. And so we want to bring, let me use this term, wellness equity into all those areas instead of debt. Debt will kill you. Bondage is debt. Debt is bondage. That will kill you. And most people are completely in bondage to different systems outside them in those areas, and they don't know how to self-govern anymore. Back to your point about the moral compass. So that's how it kind of all connects in a sort of brief synopsis.
That's fire. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I love that.
That's so good. You have such an amazing way of just wrapping everything in a little bow. It all comes together.
I asked the Lord a long time ago to help me communicate in parable form so that the people could understand. Because a lot of times, look, man, you can read a lot of books, you get really smart and have a lot of intellect, and you could communicate in a language that nobody knows what the heck you're talking about. I don't need, or I want to waste my time communicating to people of how intelligent I am or not.
Yeah.
But I want those words to count.
Yes.
It's been said a long time ago that a fool will not be known he's a fool unless he opens his mouth and starts talking. So, I think that's funny, but we need to make sure that our words mean something. Pick the words wisely where they actually communicate truth. And if we, again, have that moral compass, God help me get out of the way and you speak through me today to all the people on the Smith Brothers podcast and their audiences. And that is what we all need to have so that people today, right now, that are listening are going to have open ears, open eyes, and a receptive heart to begin to understand that health and wellness and this optimal life can be theirs every day.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's funny because I agree with that sentiment of parables so much. It's just an example of teaching something with something that they're familiar with. So it's like I understand this certain concept, but I need this explained to me. And you bring that through the lens of something they understand, and it's like, boom, they get it. That's what I mean. And that I'm obsessed with people that use parables and analogies and stuff. I'm like, it's necessary.
Hey man, Jesus did it. He's the example. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all you need to know.
Exactly.
So as Joe Biden said not too long ago, there is another pandemic coming our way. And it put a lot of fear in a lot of people's hearts. But
Put your mask on.
As you're seeing with the WHO, put your mask on. With the WHO and the Monkeypox guys saying that
Monkeypox.
Dr. Tedros.
Monkeypox.
That monkeypox is the new pandemic, and that you see there's cases happening around the world or around the country. How has it been affecting what you do in your business right now?
Monkeypox right now, I call it the great distraction. It is a no-brainer. It is something that should not be broadcasted like it is, and I cannot believe at this point in my life that I'm seeing monkeypox, actually being broadcast as a mainstream thing we need to be scared of. Just so people understand.
Gotta write that down.
And I'll say it for what it is. Monkeypox is a virus. It does not come from monkeys. So that's a fact. It was driven and it was first saw, I think, back in 1970, the first case in a human was in Africa. And it's predominantly spread through the male homosexual community, which has high promiscuity, and it has really no, again, moral compass, because we know that, and this is not a judgment thing. I love people, and I don't know what people believe. I'll sit down and talk to them all day long, and I respect their opinions, non-judgmentally. I just know that males having intercourse with males is not God's intent, because that doesn't concur with the instructions to be fruitful and multiply. You can't multiply like that, right? So again, just common sense. Now, having said that, it is a virus that is transmittable through the conventional viral transmission means. So, these droplets, you might, spit on somebody, you might sneeze on somebody, you might touch somebody's, saliva with your hand and put it to your mouth. That could be communicable, but primarily this one is communicable with skin-to-skin contact. And it has a very unique characteristic. How you know it's monkeypox? Obviously, it has the characteristics of these lesions or blisters or maybe pustules that sort of develop on the skin of someone that has it. And when those pustules are sort of open, they begin to ooze. That would be a way that you could transfer that fluid onto somebody else.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting. These pustules, blisters, whatever you want to call them, they develop primarily on the genitalia and the perianal area, which I know it makes you cringe, man. But mine is that's where it's developed. And so now you go, okay, well, why is it so concerning for the male gay community? Well, that's why. And so when a person has multiple partners, again, that's a problem. When a person that has multiple partners like that, and it does happen. There are people that actually, that males have sex with males and males also have sex with females, right?
Yeah.
So that can conceivably spread it that way. And then you're going to have that, I call it secondary spread, like a aforementioned comment, right? So you're going to have that but with, I think the last I checked is today, 6,500 documented cases in the U.S. That's it. And we're calling an emergency because of that. And there's no talk in these articles, in this stuff. It's always a footnote. Oh, by the way, it's predominantly in the male homosexual community. And oh, by the way, what happened in June? What month was that? Remember? It was Pride.
Dancing in the Streets month.
Yeah,
that one
where everyone's running around naked and having orgies.
That's what I'm talking about. So, is it a coincidence right now that we celebrate something like that? That's frankly ungodly.
It's not a coincidence.
And now we see this discussion of an outbreak that stems from a subsection of that. And now we're talking about how that affects, our world. And it makes me ask this question: are you freaking kidding me?
Right.
That's a great question.
Doesn't make sense. And so, people should have, the masks aren't going to stop that, obviously.
Yeah.
But
they're enforcing in some states, right?
Yeah, because that mask helps everything now. Hey, if you sprained your ankle, make sure to put a mask on because that'll help. That.
Totally.
You got a black eye?
That's the mentality. Oh, was that your nose is bleeding? Put on the mask.
Well, I know how you could stop this one. You could put on a pair of steel underwear that only the Smith brothers have a key to.
There we go. You're onto something.
I'm probably going to get in so much trouble for saying that. It's Friday. I don't care. I'm good.
Hey, there you go.
I have a question, though. So within all those cases, two questions, actually. Are the people dying?
I was just
and two, what are is this treatable? Is this curable? Like, is it even as deadly as they try and make it seem like they did with COVID? And we know the truth about that.
I have not seen or heard or read anything about it being deadly. I haven't seen that.
Look at that.
I haven't even heard, and you would hear this on mainstream media if somebody died. You'd hear that.
Oh, yeah, because they'd be all over it. Monkeypox killing everybody.
Totally.
Monkeypox is killing the people that do the world. It's not even the monkeypox.
If you watch, like, even back when COVID was around, you watch the narrative change. At first, it was like the fear of death, right? How many people are going to die? And then when that didn't pan out so well, when the prediction models were not really panning out, they weren't becoming true, they switched the narrative. Did you notice that? They started talking about number of cases.
Yep.
It went from number of deaths to number of cases. And now, then it went to number of tests being performed, number of positive cases. And this is the same, right?
Yeah.
And so now they're trying to push monkeypox vaccines, right? I even read today that they were pushing vaccines that were going to prevent you getting infected. Now, again, going back, this is like lockdown playbook 2.0. Going back, remember we were told by the great, one of the most ridiculous, absurd decisions we've making in American history is Operation Warp Speed. Nobody's owned that. That was a dumb, not well thought out, reactionary decision. Sorry.
Yeah, one of many.
Bad deal. And we had this belief system that we're going to take these vaccines and not get a virus. Come on. When has vaccines stopped a virus? Flu vaccines don't stop the flu. They might, in some scenario, they might prevent some people because of some people could develop antibodies. But it doesn't mean that it's going to stop it. So now you're starting to see it play all out again. And I'm thinking, here we go. You know, if people are so naive to believe this time, boy, we're in more trouble than I could ever imagine.
And what's crazy is this is not even a virus. It's not the same thing.
No.
Like, it doesn't spread as easily as COVID did, even though COVID wasn't as, I mean, you know, we know it COVID. But like monkeypox is transmitted through, like you said, skin-to-skin contact, through like saliva, through gay sex and orgies. And if you're gay and you're bisexual, first of all, you're supposed to be responsible anyway. Like, if you're going to be having sex, you need to be telling the people, you need to be getting tested regularly. If you're going to be having that much like consensual sex over and over again, like, you should be getting tested. You should be doing this. You should be telling people what's going on, what your situation is. So this should never be happening anyway. This is a lot. So, okay, what were you about to say?
Yeah, and you mentioned something too. How can you be preventable? Yeah, obviously we talked about avoid the things that sort of spread it.
Yeah,
no kidding. You know, like, there's things that we should be doing to support the immune systems of the body. Right, our immune system is almost like your military. It has Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Air Force, Space Force, Coast Guard. You know, it's got these covert sort of surveillance systems everywhere. And your immune system is like this intricate defense system that God created when your borders get infiltrated, right? It's like, you know, people understand back to our parable story, they understand the border crisis. When you allow things into the border, it continues to infiltrate problems and infections. It's almost like a cancerous thing that continues to grow and go and become tumorous, right? Yeah. Well, the same thing is true with our immune system as a whole. If we don't make sure that our borders are secured, mouth, eyes, you know, hands, skin, these are all borders, right? Even borders within our GI tract. If we don't do that, we are asking for problems, and all of our systems of our body operate with the idea they have to have different fuel sources, right? Yeah. So a system like a machine or an engine, a factory, has to have different fuel sources in order to operate. The fuel sources of the body are essential: vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fatty acids. So this whole micronutrient panel that we are supposed to get from the ground that God provided for us so that we could live in the earth that he put us in to exist, flourish, be fruitful, and multiply.
Somebody say amen.
In the world are we doing when we think about not taking care of ourselves with God's creation based upon his principles? So, you know, just living by that concept right there, being aware of that and operating within that godly wisdom parameter, we're going to be able to support the system just fine.
And that's why everyone needs to go to Sherwood.tv. Why wait until you're sick to get healthy? Stay healthy. Go to Sherwood.tv and get yourself a package. Stay healthy.
Yeah, and can you? But there's a couple things I wanted to say. But can you tell us what is what is in these plans and packages that can help people get their health right? So there's plans, there's supplements, there's detoxes. Like, there's a lot of things that I've been like mentioning to people, like when I've been telling them about it. But I want like them to hear from you, like what entails in those things.
Well, obviously, as you mentioned, very key. We as human beings need to get our head out of the sand and our you-know-what's out of the air and begin to be proactive with our health. It's almost like investments. You know, you're hearing all kinds of investments, you know, go buy silver, go buy gold, get out of the stock market.
Yeah.
It's protecting your assets.
Yeah.
Are you getting the play on words there? Hopefully,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
We need to protect our assets and build wellness equity as opposed to dealing reactionary against wellness debt.
Yes.
And to do that, when people contact us, they have multiple ways we can work with them individually. There's a free webinar that we do twice a month that people get to listen to us go on about these principles, and they can schedule an appointment from there. And those appointments are not going to be like months waiting. We typically get those between 1 and 3 weeks. So again, that's twice a month. People can go to our website, sherwood.tv/SmithBros, and you can get access to that. Now, that's working with us personally, which you can do anywhere, really in the world. Thank you to social media modalities. Now, with that said, there's also ways that people can have different packages or plans that we scripted out for them to have without working for us.
That's awesome.
We have a video audio course that is 13 30-minute sessions. 6.5 hours of teachings. And I recommend people listen to one of those half-hour teaching for 13 weeks. And that will transform your life, because all the principles we talk about on these shows and more, of course, we put in that kind of a life teaching course, right? So they can do that. We call that the Health Secrets Exposed. So we expose the lies that are and show you what to do. Everybody needs that.
Yes.
And we have what's called a 2-week reset, which is really kind of along the lines of, you're out there now and you say, man, I just need something to kick me right in the butt and get me restarted again.
Yeah.
2-week reset is really for you. It consists of a detox plan. It consists of homeopathic drops that will help you reduce cravings, maintain muscle, lose fat. We also fill in the gaps with nutrients that we know people need, omega-3s and vitamin D. That is all included there, along with a series of videos that will walk you through that 14-day process.
Wow.
And then if there's people out there that say, I just need a lot of help, I don't have time for appointments and all that, go to our 120-day transformation program, which is 4 months. And we scripted all that for you. Again, that contains the detox and food plans. And we take you through the whole course. That Health Secrets Exposed, that's in there too, along with our detox videos, along with nutrients to cover you for the whole 4 months. It is an immense package. That one, if you're out there and you say, I've got type 2 diabetes and I want to fix it, go there right now. If you say, I've been fighting my weight for the last 20 years. I'm 30 pounds up. Go there right now. I'm on blood pressure medication. I'm on type 2 diabetes medications. And nobody's told me how to work in a way to reverse the curse, reverse and get out of those conditions, and even minimize or eliminate the dosages of those medications. Again, go there right now and get that plan and work with your general practitioner on weaning you back as you don't need those things anymore. So that's kind of what people can get with that. I know I didn't probably cover it all, but that's what we all do.
Amazing, there's no excuse for anyone. No. You guys have covered all your bases. Like, if you need to get healthy again, if you have been healthy and you just want to get something better, you've covered all the bases. So to everyone that wants to stay healthy, go to Sherwood.tv. There's no excuse.
Well, just like you were talking about gold and silver earlier, you're not going to be able to get gold and silver if you're not healthy. You're not living a healthy life.
No.
All these things that you enjoy in life, that you want to enjoy in life, that you're looking forward to, are not going to happen if you don't have good health. And if you are struggling in your health,
it's right here.
What are you doing?
This is the package.
It don't make sense.
Yeah.
And also, one thing I would want to acknowledge is that I love how you're a Christian, you're a man of faith, but you're not one of those Christians that's like, oh, just believe God. You're like, God gave us this stuff on the earth. God gave us nutrients. He gave us all these things that people just want to be like, oh, God, I live sick my whole life. I ate all the bad foods. I never took care of myself. Heal me. And I'm not saying God with grace and mercy will not heal you at times, but you're being irresponsible with your temple that he gave you is on you. And so that's why I'm very pleased to get you.
A couple things to keep in mind too. And this, I'll be direct with people, as I always am. In today's world, everybody wants to have money. They want to have retirement. They want to live the American dream retirement. There's people out there that are pursuing that. There's people out there pursuing a career and trying to build a bunch of wealth. There's people out there that are actually saying, I'm going to fight for the country. I'm going to fight to get America back.
Yeah.
Just as an FYI, Point number one. You can't do that if you're dead. So I want you to know. Point number two. There's a false grace teaching out there. It's an abuse of grace that you can do whatever you want, however you want, and basically live like hell and be blessed like heaven.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that.
Oh.
Listen to me, folks. You can go through the Gospels, the whole New Testament, and the diseases mentioned there are none of the modern day diseases. So stop the rebellious, deceptive nonsense. Understand that type 2 diabetes should not exist in one single person on planet Earth. Not at all. Many of the autoimmune conditions are driven by our modern day standard American diet. Much of the heart disease is driven by the modern day standard American diet. 600,000 people die every year of that. What the heck are we doing? Cancers. 600,000 people die. Chemicals that are in our food, in our water, and just, it's ridiculous. Alzheimer's, dementia, bone disease called osteoporosis.
Wow.
These are not talked about in the Gospels or the New Testament. So my question for people is if we really believe Jesus heals, then we need to heed what the Apostle Paul said. Show me your faith by what you do. Faith plus works and action is alive. But faith without works is what?
Dead.
Come on. Which is what it will be if we don't put our faith into action.
Honestly, and that's it. That's it. You can't just be that's a lazy mentality. And that's a sinful mentality to to not live a life, because God is called, gives everyone a purpose, and everyone has a calling, and it's something that he expects them to do on this earth. And if you leave early because of your lack of diligence or your lack of care of your health, because you just wanted to eat that thing that you want, and I'm guilty of this, so I'm not coming at you guys. I'm guilty of getting that burger, getting those wings and fries, Chick-fil-A. Getting those things that you shouldn't have. I mean, it's fun to have in moderation, but to eat as a consistent diet, man. I mean, I'm assuming it's okay to have in moderation. Dr. Sherwood confirm that, but it's on you. Yeah. You think, oh, I'll be fine. It won't happen to me.
And for the people that don't gain weight like myself, I had pizza, I think, every single day for a year because I was lazy and I didn't want to cook.
I'm still in good shape. Look at me. I got my six-pack still.
I look good, but I'm sure you would know I was super unhealthy, and I'm just as susceptible as someone who looks like they're gaining weight to getting these diseases in the future.
Yeah, here's the thing with that, and this is a good lesson for everybody. As we're young, we all remember the time, and you guys are still in the window of time where it doesn't matter really what you do, you're not going to be gaining a bunch of weight. But that resilience is going less and less in age these days, as evidenced by the increase in childhood obesity, right? It's bad right now. And so understand that when the body is seeing that come in, it's looking at it like foreign material because it's not real food. And the body's trying to adjust with that. The immune system, again, is being triggered. Inflammation is going up, and the body's adapting to it. It's a wonder why we're even alive, at that moment in time. So we start seeing the chinks in the armor happen earlier in life, as evidenced by the following statistics. We are growing diseases right now faster than the population growth, increasing the time in which, as we have our lifespan, we have greater periods of sick span, which means we're sicker and on multiple medications earlier in life. And over the course of time, we see ourselves killing ourselves one fork, one spoon at a time. And to point that into to your question about this idea of moderation, the key point is to not be in bondage to food. And there's a scripture out there I want people to catch. It's found in Philippians 3:19. And if people read that, the Apostle Paul is talking about, just be do what I do, man. Don't be as those that they're enemies of the cross. And he basically says they're all about themselves. Their God is their belly. That's in there. Yeah. And their glory is their shame. Right. And so it's when we start living in bondage to the things of the world that control us, that becomes our God. and that becomes something that will, when we yield to that God, we'll get that God's blessings or not, right? And so the blessings of the world are actually curses of the world. So I choose to like live my life, and hopefully we all do, with the idea that I can do whatever I want to do. That's called freedom.
Yeah,
I'm not doing anything. If I want to buy a pizza, I'll have it. But if I don't, I don't. No condemnation, period.
Yeah.
But I also need to be aware of the consequences of my actions.
Yes.
Right. If that makes sense.
Oh, makes all kinds of sense.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned that the age of people getting ill is getting younger and younger. Question for me: it seems that 1 in 3 people are on like antidepressants and are just super sad and depressed, and they're just taking medication to get through it. Do you think what you eat plays a big part in that?
Without question. The reason people take most antidepressants, there's a family of drugs known as the selective serotonin response reuptake inhibitors, right? And so SSRI, we've kind of heard that term, or SSNI, right? And so these are called neurotransmitters. There's 2 of them that people would be aware of. There's dopamine, which gets you all excited, right? Yep. It made you go out there and you win a football game. You know, there's dopamine going on, right? It's a drug-like high of conquest, right?
Right.
Then you have the other one called serotonin, which gives you calm and peace and balance and contentment. Those things within the body biochemically are produced by a couple of processes. First of all, they're made from amino acids, right?
Yeah.
If we don't have the base material, we can't make them. And then we have to have plenty of B vitamins and magnesium in reactions. This reaction is called methylation, or the neurotransmitter cycle. Just big words, but not important. But we have to have amino acids and plenty of good B vitamins. If we don't have those things, we will not make serotonin. Hence, we see children today that don't have dopamine, they don't have serotonin manufactured. If they don't have dopamine manufactured, they can't pay attention. That would be labeled as ADD or ADHD. It's created not because of some kind of curse God put on them, not because of genetics. It's created because of lack of nutrition in their lives.
That's insane.
Most people today, and they're not fed anything. Food is like garbage dump, nonsense, not fit for human consumption stuff within the school, because they're more about profits than they are people. Hello?
Everybody.
Now they're more about indoctrination than they are education. So the bottom line is, we as people need to understand that nutrition gives the foundation for this thing called life, and God did not make people with antidepressant deficiencies.
Thank you. Okay.
All right.
I'm so
get off those.
There you go.
So go to Sherwood.tv, get you on the course so you don't got to be depressed no more.
No.
Honestly, though, I have a question about, and I know we got to wrap up soon. I have one last question for you. Do you, is there any food places like big chain or anywhere that you know that's actually okay to eat food from? Because I know if you get a salad from Chick-fil-A, that's not good. If you get a salad from like some of these places, it's not healthy for you. So is there any places that you know of, or that, or like there's a list that you are aware of that's like, okay, if I want to go out with some friends, I want to go out to eat, I want whatever, this isn't going to kill me. And then obviously there's moderation, but you know, if you go to a lot of business dinners or whatever, you know.
That's a good question. You know, I think in today's world, we are blessed with more awareness of this idea of what we're talking about, at least now, than even we were 15, 20 years ago when I was doing this. You know, now people are getting aware. There's enough volume of clinicians and mostly people, biohackers, et cetera, out here that are talking about this.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the restaurants now, really a lot of the chain restaurants, are coming up with at least their version of a healthier alternative. Okay. But you got to know what you're looking for. So what you're looking for in those is, if you can always find a chicken breast, you know, that's going to be there. And it is not perfect. I mean, these are going to be hormone fed, you know, chickens that the breasts are huge when they're only supposed to be this big, but that's the way it is. And so that's the best of that. And then you're always going to be able to find a salad, right? Mm-hmm. Even though it might be head lettuce, or it might not be the best, but it's better than, and it's actually got some nutritional value. But the real deadly thing you want to watch out for is salad dressing. on that. Now, so here's a little tip for people. You can go on to Simple Girl Dressings, and they should pay me a commission for this, but they don't. Simple Girl Dressings, and you can get dressings in little packets. Put those in your purse, ladies. Put them in your pocket, men, and put those on the salads, and that's a solution. You can also find within many of these restaurants the ability to pick and choose. So when you look at a menu, this is key. Menu, you sit down. Menus are groups of food that they put together as an option for you. But if you go in the back of the kitchen, there's a bunch of buckets back there that looks like a buffet. And all they're doing is scooping them on there. So what you do is you just look at the menu and say, well, yeah, my meat, I want this piece of wild-caught salmon. But I see also you have Brussels sprouts here and you see asparagus. But this meal has a baked potato and mixed veggies. But I would like to sub in instead of my baked potato. I'd like to bring in some asparagus with that. May I do that?
Yeah.
Yes. You may have to pay a little bit more, but most of the time, yeah, we can do that. No problem. Yeah. So be bold when you order and ask for what you want. If you don't ask, you won't receive. If you don't seek, you won't find. So there's the spiritual principle to that.
Come on.
Reach it. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Sherwood, for coming on today. I know you got to get out of here. But is there any last words you'd like to tell them? Obviously, they all need to go to Sherwood.tv and get themselves on a plan to get themselves some you have supplements as well, too. We didn't even get into that. But we'll get to that next time. But
yeah, definitely.
Go to Sherwood.tv, guys. And is there any last words?
No, folks, listen, I mean, we're in a battle out here, and it's a battle of good versus evil, God versus Satan. And I want to be on the side of the winning team, which I am. Yes. So the side of the winning team is selected right now by who you put your loyalty in. You know, Jesus is my personal Lord and Savior, and I encourage everyone to do that. And when you do that, you give up control, ownership of this physical temple to God. It becomes his, right? He made you this earth suit, so care for it. This becomes your business card. Yeah. Make sure that your business is representative from the kingdom from which you came.
Amen. Man, we love having Dr. Sherwood on here. We will see you again next week. You're the best. I'll see you next time.
Appreciate you guys. God bless you all.
Bless you.
Hi, friends. Dr. Mark Sherwood here.
And I'm Dr. Michelle Sherwood.
Not everyone can make an appointment with us, but you can receive many of the same educational benefits our patients receive through our most comprehensive course, Health Secrets Exposed.
Modern healthcare, or should we say sick care, is more focused on profit than your health. And in this course, you'll discover what sick care has been keeping from you all along.
Here's a hint. You don't need more medication.
You need the simple truths in this course to unlock optimal health. Health Secrets Exposed is usually $149. Now it's just $99 with your promo code. It's time for you to learn what Big Pharma doesn't want you to know. Get access to this course now at Sherwood.tv.